friend. Welcome back to the Say Yes to Chocolate podcast. I'm Dr. Becky, and with me is Sarah B.
Hi, friends. Today we're going to talk about something that so many women get stuck in.
That feeling of, I feel like I'm doing everything I need to be doing. I'm doing all the things, and I still just feel exhausted.
So if that is you, this episode might just completely change how you think of your energy.
Because here's the truth, Sarah. Doing more is not always the answer. In fact, it's rarely the answer. For a lot of women, doing more is the exact reason that they feel so tired.
And that's a hard one to hear.
It is, because we've been taught if you want results, you got to do more. You got to push more. You got to buy all the things. More workouts, more discipline. But your body just doesn't work like that, especially not long-term, and especially at this season in your life as you're getting older.
Right, like, because we just keep doing the same things we did in our teens, in our 20s, in our 30s, expecting that same result, but our body's just in a different place now.
It's in a very different place, and because it's in a different place, in a different season, it needs different kinds of support, and it's sending you different signals that can be really hard to interpret, but it's literally just your body asking for a different approach and a different kind of support.
So I think that's where a lot of women especially get stuck.
Right. And it's because so much of us want to do more, add more, and we're goers and we're doers. But as we get older, the body actually requires less in order to do more. And I'm going to clarify that because what we really need to do is listen to those signs and signals that our body is sending, because a lot of times what those signals mean and what the body actually needs is less. And it needs you to really allow it to focus on recovery. It needs you to take a step back and allow yourself to do less so the body can repair and rebuild, and therefore generate more energy and allow you to do more. So let me clarify that. It a lot of the times it boils down to you're pushing, and the reason your body is pushing back at you and continuing to make you more and more tired is because what it really needs is for you to allow it to do less.
Yeah. And so let's just kind of simplify that too, right? Is that your body doesn't necessarily get stronger during that effort.
Correct.
It's actually getting stronger during recovery.
Yes. So this is
that's like for me, right? Like because that's not how we think about muscle.
No, and it isn't how we think about energy, and it isn't how we think about the body just being, strong and stable and active and vital. We think about, it's all about input, right? It's about doing.
Yeah.
But at a certain point in your life, at a certain season in your life, the doing becomes more detrimental than helpful.
Yeah, and that's where that recovery really plays a role.
Yes. So that's why you're doing all the right things and you're still exhausted. It's because you need to give yourself the permission to take a break. You need to give yourself your body needs to have permission to repair and rebuild and recover. Because that's when your muscles build, your bones adapt, your energy systems recharge, your digestion is optimized, your brain can take a break from all of the input coming at it, and the body can start to recharge itself.
Yeah. And without recovery, we get fatigue buildup.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Our progress stalls.
Yes.
And everything that starts to feel so much harder.
Yes. And then the other thing, Sarah, that happens is without recovery, inflammation starts to accumulate in the body. And when you're inflamed, the body can't heal properly. The body can't absorb nutrients properly. But then you also become more and more injury prone, and more aches and pains set in, which leads to more and more frustration and less activity. And it all just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. And that cycle just continues on.
Yes. And really at the end of the day, just coming back to basics and allowing the body to recover and rebuild is where you need to put your focus.
Yeah. And it's just also really important that it's not that effort is bad, right? So effort is important. It's just that effort without recovery backfires.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of women get stuck.
That's where a lot of women get stuck, and that's where the frustration can build. Because it isn't that you need to stop trying or just stop altogether, but you do need to give yourself permission to take a break every now and then. And I think that's something that a lot of women struggle with, because we're so used to just going and taking on everything, right? For everybody.
Yes. And we really don't give ourselves that permission to really recover well.
No, and it's very foreign for us to even focus on ourselves.
Yes.
Let alone allow recovery. So
And you already kind of touched on this, but let's just kind of talk about what does that look like in real life, right? Like, it's trying to stay up late to try to get everything done.
Right. To check off everything on the to-do list, which never happens.
No.
It's also prioritizing everyone in your life but yourself, putting everyone else first. And then eventually you might have energy left to focus on you and you never does.
Right. And you're pushing through those workouts even though your body's exhausted.
Yes. And it just becomes really easy to ignore the signals that your body is sending you, especially if those signals are more often than not, because they can become habituated. And sometimes you're not even aware that those signals are there.
Right. And then we start wondering why. Why do I feel wired but tired all the time? Why does my energy never feel like it's fully coming back?
Yes.
And why does it feel like nothing is working?
Yeah, it's like your body just never catches up, right? It's because it doesn't have the space to.
Yeah. So just like always, right, we are always going to focus on one small action step we can take. So today's shift in our thinking is, instead of asking, what else do I need to add?
What am I missing? What supplement am I missing?
Yes. What else do I need to be doing?
What magic wand?
We're going to ask, where can I support recovery?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah, I think people get really confused as to what does that even mean? Absolutely. What is recovery? Do you mean just sitting in the recliner and watching a show? Like, what do you mean by recovery? Right. Do you mean getting another hour of sleep at night? Because I can't sleep, period, let alone get another hour. And we're not. So let's clarify that. Mm-hmm. One simple place to start is tonight, just create a small wind down moment. Not even a routine. We're not talking about an evening routine, just a moment. Mm-hmm. Just give yourself permission to create a small moment tonight. What does that look like? What could that be?
So it's just meaning dimming those lights earlier.
Yeah.
So
turn off the overhead
lights. Have some nice, warming lamp light. Turn your screens off sooner. The TV, the iPad, that laptop, your phone. Yes. Just turn them off a little bit earlier. It's hard, but your body's going to think
even just 10 minutes. 10 minutes can make a difference.
And then also one thing I love to do is to just do a body scan through my body and just kind of look at seeing where you're holding that tension.
Yes.
Are you holding it in your jaw? Are you holding it in your shoulders? Are you not taking a deep breath? Or your lungs just like you're shallow breathing?
I think women are notorious for that because we're always wanting to suck in our stomach, right? Yes. I mean, we're conditioned for that.
Absolutely.
So we're not even taking deep breaths.
Yeah. And I actually hold a lot of my stress and tension in my toes all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it was crazy because in my years in clinical practice, so many of my patients would come in and they would just be tight everywhere. And I would say, just be like, be relaxed. And with a lot of them, we would have to do the body scan. I would be like, no, we need to relax. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, let your fingers go. Just put your palms up on, the armrests below you. Relax your toes, do some ankle movements. And it was amazing because as soon as people started to do that, they didn't even realize that they were clenching.
No, when you don't, because it becomes your norm, right? Like we are not really aware of how much tension we are actually holding.
So sometimes just a 30-second, it doesn't even have to be 5 or 10 minutes. 30 seconds to just do a full body scan and release that tension. And if you can't release it, even just be aware of it.
Yep. And just acknowledge it's there.
Yes.
It's a neutral thought about it. It just is what it is. Yes. Like you're just noticing, I can tell my shoulders are really tight today.
Yes.
We don't have to have another feeling about it. We don't have to name it. It's just that you're noticing there's tension there.
And you wouldn't have to be perfect. It's just being aware of the signals that your body is sending you. And when you become aware of those signals, or you give yourself permission to have that wind down moment, you literally are saying to your body, it's safe for me to recover. This is a priority now for me to recover. And I think you'll be amazed at how good you're going to feel sometimes the very next morning.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes that can lead to, in and of itself, a really good night's sleep. Mm-hmm. So just something simple, or come up with your own, just a simple wind down moment, not a routine. Yeah.
We're starting with one baby step.
And if this is resonating, if you're thinking to yourself, wow, like this is a completely different way of thinking about this, and you've been feeling like you're doing everything right, but you're still tired and you're on this struggle bus that we're talking about today, it's exactly what we address inside our Age Strong Energy experience. We talk about the 4 switches that everyone needs to focus on as we get older: strength, stability, vitality, and recovery, which is what we briefly touched on today. And then what to do about all those to maximize your energy and your ability to age strong. We help you understand what your body actually needs, and then tools for you to actually take action on that understanding. Yeah. So we'll put a link in the show notes below. You can check it out, learn more, and if it's for you, awesome. We'd love to have you take advantage of that.
And as always, those tools are simple, sustainable, right? So
simple and sustainable. That's what we're all about.
And I just think today's episode has to be such a relief for people.
It is. Because you don't need to do more.
No, you need to do what matters.
You need to do what matters. Exactly. And what matters for you is different from what matters from your neighbor, your best friend. What matters for me is different than what matters for Sarah. But learning the tools to know how to identify what matters for you so you can take action for yourself.
It's so empowering.
Oh, it's incredibly powerful.
So just remember, more effort is not always better. Better support is.
Absolutely. And we'll see you in the next episode. And until then, always say yes to chocolate.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Say Yes to Chocolate.
If today's episode gave you a win, something to think about, or even just a smile, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, rate, and share it with a friend.
Want more? Join our email newsletter so you don't miss a beat, and come find us on all the social channels at Say Yes to Chocolate Podcast for all the quick hints and tips.
And don't forget, you can always send us your questions or episode ideas. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep it simple, stay curious, and always say yes to chocolate.